It's a cannon, dude. It's a freaking cannon. These are McPherson Guitars. I know you know nothing about McPherson Guitars. I'm going to bring you in the loop a little bit on this, Juan John.
Throwing me under the bus over here.
Yeah, actually that's not true. Juan John is not only under contract with Heartbreaker Guitars for the next 30 years, but he also works for McPherson Guitars as a signed artist.
I am. I'm a signed artist. I'm tremendously blessed and humbled to be able to play these guitars. I perform all over the country and other parts of the world with these instruments, and dang, they have never, one, let me down, and two, they sound insane. I love these guitars. Not because I'm partial as a signed artist, but because it's just the truth. Like, hands down, love these things. Like, they're just amazing.
If you've ever picked up and played a McPherson Guitars, you guys, when you get this thing in your hands, you know you've got quality in your hands. I mean, the lines, the engineering, the design, the fit and finish, it's just perfection. And I swear, these things, they just want to be driven. They want to be played hard, you know, which I know is one of the reasons you like them.
Oh, yeah.
You got a heavy hand when you play. So, tell us about the Cantilevered Fingerboard and the elevated sound hole and all that stuff.
Okay, so it all goes hand in hand. When he designed these guitars, he's also, Matthew McPherson is Matthew of Matthew's Archery. So he designed, the compound bow. He designed the harmonic dampener for the bows. What he did is he reverse engineered the idea with the bows that he'd invented, and he applied that to the guitars. He said, so if I know how to remove all the harmonic frequencies out of an instrument, I know how to put it all back in. And so that's what he did with this. And so when he took the sound hole and moved it up, the whole purpose behind that was to utilize the main real estate of the guitar. So essentially the bracing goes, you can actually see it through the sound hole here. It goes right through here. And he also doesn't ever stop the bracing. So the bracing kind of goes under and over each other, and they never break. So there's never a cut in it. So the sustain you're getting, because of the prime real estate being used and being braced, along with the over-under design on the bracing, along with the offset sound hole, along with the cantilever neck design, all that add into the tone, the resonance, the sustain, the overtones. It's just gorgeous.
Can you see that elevated fingerboard there?
And what people don't know about McPherson Guitars too is inside of the neck, there is a very thick carbon fiber rod, and it is actually sandwiched with the pieces of wood that they make the guitar with. But it's a very thick carbon fiber rod. So the truss rod is just a very solid piece of carbon fiber that goes through the whole neck.
And it's not adjustable.
It's not adjustable, and
because it ain't moving.
Right, and people get concerned. They're like, oh my gosh, what if I like my action this way or that way? Well, every McPherson guitar has 3 saddles cut for each guitar. So you've got your low saddle, your medium saddle, and your high saddle. And each, all 3 of them come in the case with the guitar, and they are serial numbered for that guitar. So they sit with each guitar, build these things. Wow. And I think one of the coolest things too, and I'm a geek out now because these are my favorite guitars. One of the coolest things about this is when they build these guitars, they don't just send them out when they're done. They let them hang for 3 to 4 months so that the wood moves and shifts the way it needs to shift. And then they reset everything up again. And then they send it out. So it takes them a good long time to make a guitar, but when you get it, it's going to be the best guitar you've ever played. It's insane. I love these things, dude.
That's pretty cool, because I've read that, if a guitar is going to move or shift, it's usually going to happen in the first year. Is that?
Yes, totally right. Absolutely right.
Well, this thing's like calling to me, dude. I got to
go for it. Now,
so pretty.
And it's just that glossy tone, too. You've got maple back and sides.
Yes.
And a bear claw spruce.
Look at the flame maple on this, you guys. I mean, it's incredible. And that looks like an ebony binding, mahogany fretboard, open back Waverleys. It's got an ebony backstrap overlay. That's ebony. That's ebony. Cool purfling here between the fretboard and the neck. I'm not sure if the camera's picking that up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The action on this is perfect, right off the wall. Now, when they send from McPherson Guitars to Heartbreaker, are they set up with the medium action or the low action?
They're set up with medium.
Medium.
So they put the medium saddle on.
And the medium is just, it's awesome. I feel like I'm fussy about action, and I feel like this doesn't need to be adjusted.
Yeah. No, I mean, 9 times out of 10, people don't. I did, because I like playing like a lot of the faster type stuff when I perform live. A lot of what I do is the finger style, and I rely a lot on hammer-ons and pull-offs. So you need the lower action to make that happen. So I threw the low saddle on mine, and it plays beautifully, like just wonderfully. I know bluegrassers that have McPhersons that throw the high saddle on it. I don't know how those guys do that.
Yeah, they want to crank.
Man, they got hands on them, boy. They just, I mean, they play, and it's loud. When you got the high action on there, it just is very loud.
Yeah.
It's a pretty intense thing. It's really cool. Yeah. And so this one is rosewood back and sides. Beautiful rosewood as well. This has flame Koa binding through the whole guitar. It has a purfling as well. It's got the ebony fingerboard. And the Camrielles all come with this really cool 12 fret kind of C swoosh that you see. That's Koa as well, so that's got like a little Koa inlay right there.
What's the difference between a Camrielle and a regular McPherson?
Okay, so a regular McPherson is a little bit larger body. It has a very soft cutaway. So it kind of has like a real,
it's not as pronounced.
Right, like, this is a Florentine cutaway.
Florentine, right.
Yeah, so this has a real intense, like aggressive cutaway. The MG series is got a very soft cutaway, so you're still able to reach to the top of the guitar. It's just
it's kind of curved.
It's curved
right here, where
bigger,
it's instead of coming to a point, right? Yeah.
And the difference between the two for me is the sound. Man, like the MGs just are massive. They sound huge. These guitars, they have a really punchy mid-range that is fantastic for like lead stuff or finger style, and that just wonderful instruments. And I chose this one as an artist to perform on because of the style I play. But I'm in love with the MGs as well, because they do sound so huge. And a lot of the MGs are what you hear on radio coming out of Nashville. Like there's just a ton of McPhersons being recorded out there with country music and Christian music and like a lot of the different genres that are coming out of that area. It's really cool.
Now, McPherson guitars are crazy expensive, as you know. And a lot of players, take it from me, a lot of our customers are dudes that just like to sit on their couch and watch TV and play, but they appreciate fine instruments. And it's actually fascinating. People are blown away when I tell them that 65–70% of our customers aren't even players. They're just people that like to strum on their couch. Very few professionals. But there are a lot of professionals out there using McPhersons. But I tell you, man, when you get one of these in your hands, Juan John, I mean, it's
the difference,
flawless. And probably the best warranty in the business. I've never really had a lot of issues, but I did have one guy. It was actually a carbon fiber. He had the bridge lifted on it, and the guitar was like 9 years old, or 8 years old, and they basically replaced the guitar without questions asked. I mean, just like that. Just like that. I mean, it was like, nope, we want it back. Give it to us. Here's a new guitar.
They want to know why, and they give them a brand new guitar. Just like, I mean, it's happened a few times. Like, the management up there.
So if your guitar breaks, just call McPherson. They'll give you a free one. It's no problem. You can tell them Brendan. Actually, tell them Juan John.
No, don't tell them that.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. We're talking these guys to death. Let's hear a little Indian Rosewood versus Flame Maple. Let's go.
Okay. Let's start with the strum first.
Okay.
And then we'll get into something different.
Man, that sounds so good. I don't know what you were playing, but
there you go.
it sounded to me, now granted, I'm sitting in a different position, but this thing had tons of bass coming out. Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, the maple typically maple's gonna be like really bright, and a lot of people take it for a bright wood, but on a McPherson, it's got this really cool, like bright, but it also has this really neat mid sweep that is acoustically wonderful for bass. And it does also have to do with the size of the body on purpose. They do that. When they design the wood with like maple, it's definitely on purpose. So you are gonna get more bass out of that. Looks like a 4.5.
Yeah, you know, one word I always use to describe McPhersons are powerful. because man, I mean, you just feel it in your chest when you hit a G chord.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
I mean,
it just wants to be driven.
Yeah, like the slightest, the absolute slightest, on the larger stages with like the giant sound systems festivals and everything. When you go up by yourself, and they come with the LR Bags pickups, so they come with the undersaddle elements that are voiced for each guitar. So you plug in. I just have you know, the guitar, the pickup, and my DI box, which is a venue DI. And it rings. Like, I always tell the sound guy, I'm like, dude, just put everything at 0 and that's it. Don't touch it. Don't do a thing to it. Just put it at 0. And they look at me like I'm nuts until they try everything, and then they go back to 0 and they're like, oh man, you're totally right. I say, yeah, just like leave it alone. Like, the thing just sounds amazing plugged straight in. And it's just insane. Absolutely insane. And this is one of my favorite things to do on these guitars. That's a sustain, and it's got those overtones when you hit those notes together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, and when you play that on like a really large system plugged in, you know, or you got it cranked in the studio, it just rings for days. It's like so awesome and just a lot of fun, and it's just very encouraging when you're playing this guitar, and it just opens up your mind to do all kinds of stuff you didn't think you were going to do. So they're very inspirational guitars.
The thing just blooms, man. Just listen to that.
Sustain. It goes to 11. You got a
I'm
really
sold,
soft
man.
hand too, and that's just like,
yeah, I'm sold. These things. This is just quality workmanship, incredible tone. Yeah, I'm sold on these things. And as I'm sure you are, you play the hell out of these things, right? You tour with these things, all that stuff.
I'm not going to name the brand before, but I really did like the guitar. It was great, and I snapped the neck, not because I dropped it, but because I was yanking like you know, and it just and I wouldn't be able to do that, like be as aggressive as I am if it wasn't this guitar.
Yeah,
I do some damage, you know, and it's playing these. I'm just like totally assured. I'm like, yeah. I feel like I want to yank 2 strings or 3 at the same time. Go, yank them. There's no worries, you know.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Juan John, thanks for coming.
Dude,
appreciate you.
Me.
You bet.
Appreciate you.
It's Brendan and Juan John and Toby the Beagle signing off from the Heartbreaker Lounge, McPherson Camrielle Guitars. Guys, we got them here at Heartbreaker. You got any questions about these McPhersons or any McPhersons in the shop, or you want to hear them in a particular tuning or whatever, just let us know. Drop us a comment, hit like, and thanks for watching. See you guys next time.